I'm calling from his old college, Corpus Christi, just at Corpus Christi College. Get in touch with him any day you think would be more.
Obviously this is just another opportunity for us to get back in contact with our old members and to find out sort of a little bit about what they've been doing since leaving Corpus.
Hi, my name is Lily Freeman. I'm a second year student calling from Corpus Christi College regarding our Alumni Fund. Now, do you know very much about what the fund does to help within college? Now, would a donation of £15 a month be something that you might be happy with? And you're happy for me to make that a gift aid donation? Perfect. Thank you very much.
And we were hoping that you might be willing to make a regular donation. You would? Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for that.
My name's Hugh Bonneville. I read theology here at Corpus and graduated in 1985. I'm now an actor. This place helped shape my life. You're watching this film, so you're probably a corpuscle, and I suspect this college had a pretty big impact on your life too. Whether we go out into the world or stay to pursue academic research, becoming the teachers of the next generation, Corpus provides every student who passes through its gates with the opportunity to enjoy a modern, dynamic education here. A blend of traditional and contemporary, the best of both worlds.
Our goal in attracting applicants to this college, and the same goes for all colleges, is that we want the brightest and the best from wherever they come from whatever background. And we are concerned that the change in fee structure, which the government has recently forced the universities to introduce, is going to make this more difficult. That's to say, there are going to be more students from less privileged backgrounds who are going to be scared off the debts that they will incur from having to pay the higher fees.
We need to make sure that people are not deterred because of their ability to pay.
They should feel confident that they're coming to Cambridge, they'll get the education which will enable them to pay off their loans, and while they're here as students, we will give them support if they run into hardship.
There is a gap between what a Corpus education costs and what most students and their families can afford, and that gap is growing at an alarming rate. If Corpus is to continue admitting the very best students, regardless of their resources, as it has always done, then it needs the help of you and me, the old members. We benefited from the generosity of those who came before us. Now it's our turn.
Nowadays, students who are having to pay £9,000 a year in fees will probably leave Cambridge, if they're paying for it all themselves without family support, probably leave Cambridge with £40,000 of debt or more.
We're all concerned about this, and we haven't yet seen, I think, the full effects of the change in funding at all. We're not sure what the ultimate consequences will be, but it's obviously very worrying. Supervision is absolutely fundamental. It's really the best product that we offer in terms of teaching at Cambridge, and it's what differentiates Oxford and Cambridge from other university teaching around the country.
Supervisions are very demanding. They are in small groups, sometimes one-to-one, never more than 3 or maximum 4. And there is, as we say, nowhere to hide. You've written an essay, you've given it to your supervisor, he or she will cross-question you about it in the supervision with 2 or 3 of your peers.
You get to spend an hour with specialists who are really passionate about their subject, and I think that really passes off on you when you're learning, because you get to find out about the newest things and what they're thinking.
There's such pressure for us to be really at the forefront of our fields. We can often use that type of new knowledge in our lessons with students, and we can enrich their educational experience through our own research discoveries.
In philosophy, they're often one-to-one supervisions. So they're very intensive, they're very demanding. Supervisions are, well, I would like to think that they're the highlight of the student's week. They might disagree with me.
My first supervision was not particularly fun. I had to go home and have like an entire pack of Sainsbury's ginger biscuits to feel better.
We still are committed to having these people spend their time teaching individual undergraduates through supervisions, because this really makes the difference for the academic performance in the end.
The cost of the supervisions is entirely paid for by the college. Those aren't covered by university funding at all. And the supervisions are expensive. It's very important that we maintain the ability to teach students in this way.
The supervision system certainly is one of the major commitments, financial and otherwise, of the college, and it is something which we regard as so crucial that we definitely want to preserve it, even though it is a system which is very labor intensive and requires a lot of commitment on academic staff.
The Corpus experience is about nurturing the brightest young minds in an environment of learning and scholarship that goes back centuries. Matthew Parker bequeathed his now priceless collection of manuscripts to the college and established scholarships that still support Corpus students today.
But beyond major bequests, Corpus needs continuous support to help pay for that labour-intensive supervision system. Funding to restore and maintain the glorious but expensive fabric of the college. And it has set a goal of £5 million as an endowment to support the needs of less affluent students.
The bursaries have made a big difference to my time here at Corpus.
I do get some support from the college, and that's been really helpful. Unfortunately, international medicine is a bit expensive, so the support from the college is really helpful to me.
I received a bursary from the college, which I found really useful in helping to meet college costs in terms of like food and accommodation, etc.
I've benefited greatly from a fund, the Purvis Fund, which have been given to me through the college. And that's been a real help. That eases a lot of the pressure and a lot of the worry.
It's a great privilege to work in an environment like this with highly motivated academics, among the best in the world, and a magnificent group of students who enliven the place and are the reason for us being here.
Corpus Christi College is very international, multiracial and multidisciplinary as well.
So we do tend to, particularly in history, have people who are interested in things like politics, theatre and literature. And that goes across the board. We get a lot of rowers as well. I think all subjects get rowers.
Some of the students here are really at the top of their game, really, really fine minds. And I find that very stimulating.
I get to talk to philosophers, I get to talk to historians, and get to learn all kinds of things.
I'm the only archaeologist, so I make friends outside of my subject and have friends who do natural sciences, who do maths, who do classics, and you get to meet a whole range of people who have really different interests to you.
I love the chapel so much. It's very warm and friendly, and I look forward to the days where I officiate and also tend to read the lessons sometimes. It's a very stimulating environment, and irrespective of whether you're a Christian or not, everyone is welcome to the chapel.
The college is one community, but it's also a collection of smaller communities. Academic, of course, but also sports teams. The boat club, the Fletcher Players, the Pelican Club, the chess club, which of course has nothing to do with chess. The college calendar is filled with recurring events, from matriculation and graduation, to cuppers and bumps, to Mayballs, and the Christmas carol service.
Of course, education is about discovery, and some of the discoveries made by members of this college have changed our understanding of the world.
Corpuscle George Thomson won the Nobel Prize for Physics for his work on the electron. Joe Farman discovered the hole in the ozone layer. Oliver Rackham, a world authority on woodlands and nature conservation. Chris Andrews acclaimed research on espionage and British intelligence. Sir Paul Mellors, knighted for his research on Neanderthal populations and human evolution, the world of prehistory. And directly affecting populations of today, there's work like that of Dr. Alex Duncan in Afghanistan, which has significantly reduced child mortality. Dr. John Taylor, his patented invention, based on the bimetallic strip, switches off every electric kettle in the world. a major benefactor to the college after whom the student library is named, and who created the clock that now eats up time on the corner of Trumpington Street. This old member was the son of a Canterbury butcher. His name, Christopher Marlowe, author of Tamburlaine the Great and Dr. Faustus.
Ordinary people who, through their unique talents, their education at this college, and their experiences at this university, achieved extraordinary things.
Who knows what today's corpuscles will achieve in their incredibly diverse fields of study?
And I've worked on 18th century natural history, I've worked on the history of the body, the history of agriculture, areas of that sort.
My PhD is looking at public law, in particular the way that private citizens can sue government officials for decisions that they consider to have been made unlawfully.
I study PhD in biological science. My research is trying to profile what the differences are in the microbial signature between the bacteria that live in our gut as healthy individuals and for persons who are sick with Clostridium difficile infection.
I'm fortunate to be on a year of sabbatical research time. So I'm spending that writing a book, which is going to be about Plato and Aristotle and some later ancient philosophers, and what they had to say about pleasure.
It's a real mix. I can do history, I can do philosophy, I can do a bit of languages if I like, I can do a bit of literary criticism, I can draw on a whole heap of disciplines and study them all within this massive influential culture of Christianity, which is my particular interest.
My research is in quantum physics, and in particular applying quantum physics to materials. And we're interested in looking at materials where electrons are interacting very strongly. And these interactions can often lead to new quantum states of matter.
The history of food, the philosophy of pleasure, the college calendar, it all comes together in the ceremonial college dinners, the name day feast, reunion dinners, and the commemoration of benefactors.
And one thing Corpus is known for as well is the good food. So my friends always like, let's go, please invite me to form a dinner.
The people of my generation more or less had this superb education for free, or very nearly free. And now it is expensive. And that is why we are looking, one of the reasons why we are looking to our alumni, people like myself and my own generation, to say, look, what you had very cheaply or nearly free, we want you to help us make available to the next generation.
The telephone campaign is something that we do once a year. We've been doing it for 5 years now. The students run the campaign. They phone the old members and they talk to them about their experience of the college, and in the course of those conversations, they learn a lot about our old members, and of course they ask them to make gifts, preferably on a regular basis.
So I was involved in the telephone campaign at Easter, and what that involved doing was making contact with old members, and really stressing the importance to them with all the sort of changes to funding of that the government are introducing, the importance of continuing to support education at the college level.
They have responded magnificently. We have something called the participation rate, which is the percentage of alumni who give to the college. This is now running at about 20% among the top among the colleges in Cambridge.
And we're very proud of that and extremely grateful to our old members for being so supportive of the college.
It would be very nice if we could try to rescue the situation somewhat by making it possible for more people to come here with studentships and bursaries.
Let us dig into our pockets and make it possible for future generations to have the same wonderful education.
The generosity of corpuscles isn't just used for bursaries and scholarships. It's also essential for improving the very fabric of the college. And this building is the latest example. It was opened in September 2012 and provides accommodation for postgraduates here at Leckhampton. And this terrace I'm standing on, with its fabulous views of the games pitches and the countryside beyond, wasn't on the original plans, but an old member offered to pay for it. So thank you, Jack and Diana Gordon.
One of my contemporaries, Will Kendall, has taken the lead in encouraging all of us to contribute to the Alumni Fund. Not so long ago, you wrote a very eloquent letter to old members asking them to lend their support and to give back to the college.
Well, I felt very strongly that those of us who had been here in the past, and particularly our generation who didn't even pay for our education, had a particular role to play in resolving the funding requirements of the college now. I mean, we are a generation who have probably benefited enormously from our time here. The economy has worked in our favour mostly in the time since. Now, I quite accept there are lots of our generation who, don't have the resources to pay it back, but I feel those of us that can should be considering paying back what they got for free. I've worked out that it's somewhere between sort of £30,000 and £40,000, and I've made a commitment to the college, which not to pay it back immediately, but to pay back that and some more, because I recognise that quite a lot of my contemporaries won't be able to pay back that sum.
Will, what sort of platform did Corpus give you for your future life as an entrepreneur?
I like making things happen, and I think this was a fabulous place to make things happen from. It's a small college, and so you had to sort of get on and do things. We need 15 to play rugby, or have you ever played lacrosse before? And that's not a problem, we're in the cuppers.
And there's a perception that Oxbridge colleges are very rich, so why should we support Corpus?
It's often accused of being an elitist institution, but I think as long as it draws from the widest possible pool of talent, but then provides a fabulous education, then what's elitist about that? I think we all have a responsibility to pay something back, and if some pay more than others, that's fine. But that seems to be the way that our generation can do what people in the 1400s and 1500s did. And it can be our bit of endowment or topping up the endowment to make sure that the Corpus is thriving in 100 years' time.
I think the great thing about Corpus is it's small. It's one of the smallest colleges, if not the smallest, and it's intimate. And I think small is beautiful. It's a very particular, nurturing group which gives you intellectual confidence, social confidence, aesthetic confidence, if you like, cultural confidence. So it's a very inspiring experience.
Corpus, in a word, conveys to me our community. It's a great place to live, to work, to study. It conveys to me friendship. I have made many great friends whilst at Corpus.
I would sum up Corpus as a place where there's variety, excellence in teaching, and a strong sense of community.
They emerge armed with a tremendous set of critical skills in reading, in expressing themselves, in managing to handle and manipulate difficult arguments subtly and carefully.
My complete life trajectory has changed an awful lot since I first came here, and it really will be something that I'll look back on with fondness for the rest of my life.
If I could summarize my experience at Corpus in a sentence, I would say that it has been chaotic, challenging, thrilling, invigorating, and that it has opened my mind.
I feel a lot more confident, and I've got a lot more of an idea about what I want to do when I graduate and where I want to go.
There's no difference in race, in age, in sex, irrespective of wherever you are from. Corpus is the place to be, I think, I love being in Corpus.
As master, it's a great privilege for me to come back, having been an undergraduate here, live in this beautiful place, and work in the hope of being able to leave the institution in a way that enables it to survive and flourish.
The Alumni Fund is more important than ever. The students of today and the students of tomorrow depend on you and me to make their experience of Corpus as life-changing as ours was. So please, give whatever you can in whatever way you can.